Hey, it's Eastland. Welcome to Project Felicite. Hey!
Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you? I am actually really excited to see you.
Yes.
I know that we actually interviewed before, but unfortunately the audio was not well.
It's okay.
It's okay.
That's why we got the mic in the house.
Here we are today, so I'm just grateful that you are here with me.
Sure.
For my audience who is listening, do not be afraid to start over. It is okay. Just put your best foot forward. But back to you, my darling. The last time we interviewed, you had beautiful, long, luscious locks. And today, before me, still, you have beautiful hair. You have a short afro. It's curly. I see the highlights. You're looking great. You're looking
popping. The curls are popping.
Yes, amazing. So, of course, I must ask, what influenced you to cut off your hair?
Transitions, transformation, things that no longer serve you. They serve you in that moment. My locks at the time were serving me in that moment. And now that I'm in a different space and place in my life, I found myself in a space. It was very uncomfortable space, but the space was worth me being in for healing.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'm still healing in that space. When it's time for me to get my locks again, I'll get them. If the universe, if God doesn't want me to have them, then I won't have them. But in that moment, it was necessary for me to cut my locks. And I will say, initially, I was like, oh, I'll just comb them out, like, no problem. Like, ooh, it's going to be so easy. It was not. I tried to comb a few out, and I was successful, but I found myself taking, like, hours just to comb one out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, just to tell you a little bit about my lock journey, one reason why I locked was it was through a very tumultuous situation. I actually had just had surgery and I was recovering. I was feeling very empty. That's when I got a hysterectomy. For those women, the women that say, oh, I don't want to have a period no more, so I want a hysterectomy, don't do that to yourselves. Your uterus is there for a reason. And when my uterus and all my female parts were taken, I felt empty. And when I mean I felt empty, things in my life also felt empty. And physically, you might not have a period anymore, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and even financially, your life changes. Your hormones change. You may have early menopausal symptoms, and you may go through full-blown menopause, which causes vaginal dryness. Ladies, 30-something years old, want to have a hysterectomy. And it affects your life. It affects your love life, your sexuality, how you feel about sex, how you feel about intimacy. All those things are in your, even creativity. You know, you find yourself not being as creative as you usually are. And you're wondering why. Well, it's because one of those things that's in the solar plexus and sacral area is your uterus, and that's your center. And you wonder why you can't stand up straight or feel full. Is because the uterus is gone. The uterus is life. It brings life in so many different ways, not just, from having a baby. It brings life to your goals, your dreams. It brings life to your core, meaning that if you want to gain weight or lose weight, you wonder why you can't gain weight. You wonder why you can't lose weight. You wonder why you can't do certain things, and it's because of an imbalance. The body missed the uterus. So my body missed the uterus, so long story short, I locked my hair. And initially it was like, oh, I'm just doing something different. But no, it was not. It was literally a journey for me. And it caused me, like, I was reclaiming my time.
Yes. Yes.
And so I was feeling beautiful. And I said, forget, the fact that, if corporate doesn't like my locks, so what? Because at the time I was working in corporate, and the type of job that I did, straight hair, was much better in presentation as it was in locks. But guess what? I walked in that UNC building, UNC Chapel Hill, and said, take it or leave it. I ended up having to leave eventually, shortly after started my locks, and part of it was due to, not quote unquote fitting in per se. Mm-hmm. So I gladly left, and I was okay with exiting left.
Go ahead.
Because that caused me to evolve even more. Had I not had those locks, I probably would have never exit left. I probably would have been there, right there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, right there. But I exit left, and I felt good about exiting, so it was the right thing to do. So locks are not just locks. So fast forward, transformation period. I called this my sister mentioned this book, but I'm probably going to end up calling this my Beauty for Ashes transition, or Gracefully Broken transition. So my locks were heavy. Like you said, they were beautiful. Not to take away from them, but they were also ugly. They experienced some ugly things as well. So it was just time. And I feel lighter in so many different ways. I feel even more elevated as we go through. There's different realms to spirituality. Like, when you go to church and they say, oh, she's just a babe in Christ. But as you get to know and have a personal relationship with God, you tend to evolve. And so I'm at a different space and place in my life where I'm evolving. So the locks, it served its purpose at that time. So it no longer served me, and I cut them off.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that with me. I find that a lot of women are actually encouraged to have hysterectomies, sometimes for medical reasons, but it's good to always do your research and see how those things may affect you mentally, right, emotionally, spiritually, and to see what other avenues are out there,
Absolutely.
In terms of herbs and all sorts of natural remedies that may or may not help. So thank you for sharing that story.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, and this quote came from a gynecologist that I was seeing. I will tell you, I was going to oncology gynecologist. So you know what that meant, right? Oncology gynecologist. Oncology is the doctor that studies, tissue cells, pretty much cancer. Okay. So she told me after I had my hysterectomy, she said, she said, you either take care of yourself mentally or you'll be back in here. Take care of yourself mentally or you will be back, and cancer will run rapid through your body. She said stress will kill. I will tell you, just from a scientific standpoint, everybody has a certain amount of cancer cells in the body, but they tend to lie dormant, right, for a long time. And they'll remain dormant, but when something occurs in the body, something triggers those cancer cells, then they wake up. And then, boom, here we're starting with cancerous cells in the body. So there's other different factors of reason why we have cancer. Research shows that it is also genetic and things of that nature, and the type of tissues we may have and that kind of thing. That's true. However, stress will kill.
Absolutely. I like to say everything starts internally.
Yes,
you
it
know,
is.
and then it manifests itself in a physical way. So,
Yes,
I
that
think
is true.
yes, thank you for bringing up that important point. Thank you for watching. Please consider sharing and subscribing for more content. Mwah.